to FANatics, the show that celebrates everything that you're a fan of. From comics to cosplay to movies to video games. We celebrate it all and we dive deep into nerd culture. So come on, let's go! I'm standing at the corner of Commissioners and Gordon. That can only mean one thing.
It's Batman time!
I think London Batman actually really came into being last year. I've always put London Batman as my, I don't know, email or identification code on my PS network and everything like that. And it was just, even my Facebook says London Batman. But then it was going to, I believe it was a SarniaCon, and I was introduced as London Batman with the London Rogues. And I had no say in it whatsoever. It was just, hey, bring your Batman costume to this location. All right, I did. And as soon as I got there, introducing London Batman. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. Why not? All right. So then got home that day and my friend helped me whip up a page on Facebook. And every time I went to a con, hey, check out London Batman. And yeah, it just kind of escalated from there. The thing I think I really like about Batman the most, that I can sympathize with, is that he is the only superhero without superpowers. And in this world governed by physics and, the laws of thermodynamics, I can't fly, and I do have this need to help people. And it just made more sense that I could emulate somebody that uses the shadows and uses psychology and strength and stuff like that to actually accomplish good. It really started the ball rolling, and I really wanted that cool techie suit, but the technology didn't exist. So I started backwards engineering the original cape and armor, and then I just sort of fell into Batman. The design process starts first. I get the idea in my head, and as an artist I can sketch up whatever I want. And I really use my mind's eye a lot for color, things like that. Like, for example, I love the color blue. My favorite color is blue. And Batman's utility belt is yellow. And I never understood that from a stealth point of view. So my personal utility belt is blue. And I designed that by finding a blue and black belt buckle, starting. And then I found a belt, blue belt, and then I found some blue pouches at the dollar store. And then I filled those pouches with every gadget and doodad I could find, and I've got some really neat stuff. Originally I started with the store-bought costumes, and they were just not good enough. So then I started doing some research into the movies, and I found out that the movies used wetsuits. So to hug the body and to make it look armored and to get that real sleek black look, I would go to Travel Sports equipment here in town, and my friend Daphne would totally hook me up with some of the best costume pieces. They'd have a couple of decals, but with the modifications I do to them, and that's really my secret, is modifications. I find something, I think it'll be perfect, and then I just modify it and make it better, and then when that piece gets shown, everyone thinks I'm Batman. I have about 4 to 5 specific different ones that are like entirely standalone. But with 5 different costumes, the mixing and matching that I can do in between them permits me to make at least 13 different suits. Off the top of my head, the ones I can think of right away are my Dark Knight suit, which is the wetsuit with the armor and the Christian Bale look. Everyone loves it. The next suit that I'm most proud of is my gray-black tight suit, and that's for warm winter or warm summer days, no sweating. I have to work out, do the crunches and the push-ups to look good wearing that. My battle damage / zombie costume, I am very proud of that. And I cannot think of a scarier zombie than your favorite hero zombified. Like, if you see Batman as a zombie, what hope do you have? You're screwed. Here in town in London, it's either one way or the other way. The one way is people are absolutely flabbergasted and want my picture taken with me and get my number, things like that. And then the other half is the conservative part of London, and they won't even look at me. Like, they'll look at the ground, they'll look away. They won't even try to, hey, look. They will ignore me, and it's kind of like, oh, you think I'm being childish, and I feel like you're acting like my dad or my mom, but you're a stranger. I don't care who you are, and that hot girl just got a hug from me. So, you know. There is definitely a change in the way people act towards me. Like, when I'm just Sky, nobody cares. But when I'm Batman, everybody pays attention.
Do you like roller derby? Did you know you could see roller derby right here in London? You can, right over there.
My real name is Jane Graham. My derby name is Baconator. Forest City Derby Girls is one of the first leagues in Canada. The sport of roller derby had its modern resurgence started in the southern states around 2001, and so we started shortly after that. So most of the original skaters have gone on to retire. There's a lifespan of a derby skater, usually only like 6 or 7 years max, just because it's a sport. It's a full contact sport, and it's really hard on your body. But a lot of the former players still play as coaches or play occasionally, and definitely come out as fans to the games. So how the game works, basically, each team fields about, it's 14 players per team for a game, for a bout. A bout is made of two 30-minute halves, and in each of those halves, it's broken into periods called jams. So a jam will last for up to 2 minutes with 30 seconds in between. Like in hockey, we put out a fresh line for each jam, and we line up to start a jam. We line up 4 blockers, which includes 1 pivot, plus 1 jammer per team. So there are 10 players on the track. The 8 blockers make up the pack. They line up one in front of each other. The jammers line up behind them. These are the girls with the star panty on their helmet, and their job is to make their way through the pack, lap the pack, and then they each begin to accrue points for every player on the opposing team that they pass, including players who are sitting in the penalty box, so don't get penalties. So the jammer who gets through the pack first gets the strategic advantage of being called lead jammer. So she'll call the jam by hitting her hands to her hips repeatedly. She might do that because she's losing strategic advantage. The other jammer is gaining on her. If she gets out first and she gets through the pack and gets some points, she'll call it off before the other jammer can score. Or if she gets hit out and she fell over or she's exhausted and she can't do it anymore, she'll call the jam off for that reason.
I am one of the original founding members here at Forest City. I started back in 2006. Back then there was 8 girls, and in the 8, almost 9 years that I've played, it's had its highs, it's had its lows. We've gone from 300 crowd, our first game, which we flyered all ourselves for that back then, and the most we've ever had at a game was 1,500.
What roller derby means to me is a sense of camaraderie. A sense of leadership, role model, healthy lifestyle, sports for women. You know, I don't think, at least in the community that I come from, women's sports, male sports like lacrosse is dominated. So it just gives me a sense of empowerment and a deeper understanding of what it means to be feminine.
It's exercise and it keeps me healthy, and I seem to have aggression issues, So it certainly helps with that. I get to hit people here and at games, and it makes my family life a whole lot better.
It's an outlet for me in regards to aggression and anger, and I like to come out because of the ladies. Bringing a bunch of ladies together is pretty awesome, but also big hits. We get to hit each other, and they're like my friends and family now.
It's great physical activity, and I get to hit people and not go to jail. Like, where else can you do that, right? It's fantastic. No, it's really good physical exercise. These girls are my family. It's just an awesome atmosphere.
I started because I hated it. I was really crappy at skating, and I continue because you make friendships, and I'm not so crappy at skating anymore, so that's why I like it, yeah.
I was a really shy, non-athletic girl, so I started derby just because I needed to exercise and I wanted to make friends. And I found this really confident, really different person in roller derby, and that's what I love about it.
Now that we learned a little bit about roller derby, did you know that you can roller skate here in London? You can, right here!
This is the only roller skating surface between Michigan and Mississauga. This roller rink came together in 1989. The wooden floor was put down in 1990. It's the North London Optimist Community Center. It's on Cheapside and Highbury. It is still popular. There's a whole crew that don't even know about it, but there is still a number of all ages. The youngest we have is around 1, and the oldest in the Huff and Puff is in his 90s. If you're coming out roller skating for the first time here at North London, you will expect, depending on the night, if it's a Wednesday night, there's a variety of ability of skating. Therefore, we ask the beginners with the floor guard, they help you to the center of the floor. Stay close to the center, because the hot dogs or the better skaters are running the outside, and they're quite a bit faster. Most of the time, there's skaters around that will tell you how to stop, or if you have any questions, there's people around that will show you things. They're a pretty good group. You can rent skates here. We have everything from 1-year-olds, which would be a child's size 6, to a men's 16.
I came roller skating here at North London Optimist for the first time after some roller derby girls actually invited me to come roller skating, and instantly fell in love with it. Once I put on my skates and started skating, there was nothing else I wanted to do but be in my skates.
All these people are nothing but fun. It's just, I don't know, it's exercise for me. It's just in my blood because I was a figure skater.
I used to do competition when I was younger, right, in Windsor and Detroit and Michigan, so I just love it. I mean, it's like a vacation, so to speak. You let your frustrations out, right? It's good exercise.
For me, it's mainly about skating to music. I think without music on an indoor rink, I wouldn't keep at it. The exercise, certainly the companionship. I've made a lot of friends here since I came back. Come out, give it a try. We all started at some point. Some people think that I'm a great skater. I'm always trying to tell people, as long as I see people out and trying, that's what I like to see more than anything else.
Why do you love roller skating?
Because I love being able to spin.
It's because you can do what you want to do. You can develop your own style. There's no rules for it, it's an individual sport. What you want to do on the floor, you can't condemn somebody else because they have some other different style. So go as fast as you want, slow as you want. I just have a lot of fun at it.
I like the fact that you leave all your problems and anxieties out the door. You hear the music. Everybody's a big family here. And you just have fun and skate and forget all your troubles when you're skating.
I come here because of Al.
He usually will say to me, I had this dream of a move we can do. I think we can do it. And I'll go, okay, we'll try it.
And we try it, and usually we nail it pretty quick.
You guys meet here?
Yes, actually we did almost a year ago. We met here, yeah.
Love at first skate.
Today is Free Comic Book Day. It is a day to celebrate comics. Emphasis and non-emphasis on the word free. Come in, get some free comics, and also just celebrate comics. It's just a great day to come out and be a part of our culture.
We are giving away over 3,000 comics today. You could choose 2 off the table, and after that, it's just a party.
And how many people do you expect in your store?
Oh, well, last year we got over 2,000, and I'm expecting pretty much the same unless it rains.
Comics are an art form, and it just introduces people to other types of comics. People just associate comics with funnies in the paper, but that is like maybe 1% of the market. There's art out there. There's ones that have won Pulitzer Prizes. There are ones that have made into amazing movies, like Road to Perdition with Paul Newman is a comic. History of Violence is a comic. So yeah, it just introduces a new world to people that don't even know it's there.
Free Comic Book Day has grown since the beginning. We've had pretty much a pretty steady increase since the start of the program that's been going on. I can't remember what we really started with, probably 1,200 or so people in the first couple of years, and then it's just sort of growing a bit and a bit and a bit every year up beyond that. Free Comic Book Day brings new people in the shop, hopefully brings back some lapsed comic readers, brings in new comic readers, lets people see what kind of different stuff's out there now in compared to years past. It's not just superhero stuff anymore.
Here we are in Victoria Park on a beautiful summer day in our favorite cosplay costumes, taking pictures with the kids, and why? Because right across the street at Centennial Hall, it's London Comicon.
The idea for London Comicon came from essentially we did the Shocks.org convention for a couple of years, and seeing in the newspaper that a local comic book shop had won a Joe Shuster Award for being best comic book shop in Canada, and putting together a convention, seeing something like that, you're like, hey, this that's front page newspaper stuff. Why isn't there something to embrace that? There should be more of a community here that supports that stuff. There should be a convention. I went down to the comic book shop and I talked to the guys there, and I was originally, I think, trying to pitch them the idea of starting their own convention, being, well, you guys could really do this because you're in a winning comic book shop. And they turned around and said, but you do a convention already, and you already know what you're doing. You'd be the perfect person to do it. And I just said, oh, okay, well, let's do it then. We just kind of went from there. The highlight of the weekend for me was opening the doors on Saturday and seeing, the massive crowds of people that, were excited to come in and having a good time in the line and just smiling and just walking through the show and seeing everyone laughing and talking and, networking and making new friends and seeing old friends and everything like that is really the highlight for me. And the wrestling show was cool.
started drawing as a little kid, and I started drawing like Donald Duck pictures and things like that. And I remember as like a 5 or 6 year old kid just being astonished at something like coming from my head and ending up on the paper. So that was like magic to me, and I still kind of feel that. I've never really lost that, you know, to come up with a crazy idea with a superhero, and all of a sudden those muscles start popping up on the paper from in there. You know, you never really lose that sense of magic, or I hope I don't.
I'm a vendor. I am local from London. My store used to be on Dundas and Adelaide. I sell retro and horror clothing, so I'm trying to bring the whole pin-up and horror, I guess, scene to Comic-Con now.
And you make your own clothing as well?
I make some of them. I make custom costumes, pin-up dress versions of like nerdy things like Doctor Who, Pikachu, everything like that. And I also sell the brand Hell Bunny, which is from the UK.
The show really depended on the support of the community, and I think the community kind of embraced it and made it their own. The community and the fan groups and everyone were so embracing of it and so loving of it, because they obviously, you know, it goes with the territory, you know what I mean? Like when you love something, it grows and it is happy and it's wonderful, you know what I mean? So that's what the show was all about. It's just kind of like bringing everyone together and letting them take it upon themselves to make a great show, and it was great.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook. See you next time on FANatics.
It's Batman time!
Am I starting? From comics to cosplay to movies to video games. From comics to cosplay to video games and that. I'm not doing it anymore.